everyone, welcome to my channel, Narc, Sociopath, Abuse, Clarity, and my name is Donna. Please hit the like button, and if you like my commentary, hit the subscribe button and come back. I would love to have you back, and if you want to contact me, look in the description, look in the about page, and feel free to email me if you have any questions, or if you want, a video request, anything like that. Alright, I'm gonna get into this one. I'm driving right now, so this is, I guess, a car vlog video. I don't know what it is, whatever. But I wanted to talk about this, and the topic is basically narcissists, and so many of them out here. I don't even know how I'm going to name this, but I think this is going to be it. But basically, I'm going to put the title out here. And what I wanted to say is, what I noticed is, it's just, like, there's so many of these cluster bees, these narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, borderline personality disorder, histrionics. There are so many of them out here. And, different nationalities, ages, cultures, everything. It's just, they just out here, male, female, or whatever, right? Senior citizens, children. And I just wanted to discuss this, I guess, just a regular old conversation, or whatever I'm just having, with my audience. And I noticed, like, I was talking to, to one of my friends who's talking about it. It's like, yes, there's so many of them out here. And everywhere you go, like in the workplace, and, she's having a problem with, one of her, co-workers, and she feel it, it's a possibility that the person is, because they, the certain things that they do, so it's a signs of, of a narcissist, right? And I said, yeah, then, I just started thinking, and I just started thinking about, my past and growing up. And if anybody ever think about, like, you ever think about your childhood, the people that's, like, they're more knowledgeable, they're learning more about with narcissism. And if they educate themselves, it doesn't make you go back, you start thinking about your past. And even going back and thinking about your past, you go back into your childhood. And you think about when you was, like, in first, second grade, and it was just that kid that just so mean, always wanted to hit people, was just stealing. That kid in class and lie. And then realize, like, I believe that some of these people are, what narcissistic people, I have to say, is some people could be made that way, or they could be just born that way. That's just my opinion. They say made that way, and then some people say born that way, a little bit of both. I agree. I think it's a little bit of both, right? So, and then you just think about those kids, and you go back down your childhood, you look like, well, Dad, that kid was something else. I'd like to see what that kid is doing now. They probably just full blown. Because remember that kid that just always lie. But don't get me wrong, because, kids, they do lie, then they grow out of it, then they just stop. It's not always a permanent thing. But when they start heading into teenage years and doing, I'm sorry, your kid is gone. It is what it is. So you just think about that. Then you think about, your first job that you had. And then I thought about my first job that I had, and there was this one boss that was there. And this job, it's like one of the fast food restaurants, my first job, the teenager thing, right? Fast food. And it was this one man, he always had this look in his eyes. I never could understand it. Just, wasn't too pleasant, wasn't too friendly. And then I noticed he would just act funny towards me. And I never really understood, like, I always felt that he just didn't like me. And I never understood why he didn't like me. I didn't do anything or whatever. I just come to work and just mind my business. And I realized, like we talk about these narcs, how they target you. They just pick at you for any reason. You just never know. It could be just the way, this boss is a male. And, the way you do your hair, the way you just dress, or, keep it to yourself. And as I think about it, I think this is probably because I just kept to myself. I wasn't like everybody else. And I noticed, too, at the job there, too. Everybody wanted to date everybody. I mean, God, dog. Everybody's boyfriend and girlfriends at the fast food joint. I'm wondering, is it still like that at fast food joints? Oh, my gosh. Oh, well, hey, date whoever you want to date, right? And would just pick at me. Like, let's say, for example, if I'll just be running maybe by like 10 minutes late, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, you're late. Okay, well, Jane be late all the time too. But you don't seem to really bother Jane. You don't bother Peter. You don't bother the rest of them. But with me, it's just like the lights is going off, the sirens or whatever. See what I'm saying? So you realize that they've been out here for years. I mean, I'm saying for years. Oh, gosh, that sounds stupid. But they've been out here for a long time. You know, and they just all over. But I just have to say one thing that I do like now is, now I have a word to it, a meaning to it of these type of people. Because when just growing up, I just noticed it was just, certain people just have this look in their eyes. Or they were just so mean, or they just didn't have no empathy, they just didn't care. And I never understood why they would act that way. Or I would have a friend like, why would you do something like that to that person? So, who cares? Or I remember one time at a job, this is a long time ago, and I told one of my coworkers, I said, Jane, I'm just making up names because you know this is a long time ago, this teenage days. And I said, oh, Jane had a car accident. And then I remember the coworker kind of chuckled. And I looked at her. Maybe she didn't quite hear what I just said. I said, Jane had a car accident, right? So then, all of a sudden, she was like, oh, like she snapped out of it. Oh, really? Oh, wow, that's just so sad. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm like, for a second, it looked like you smiled and you chuckled. Just said you had a car accident. And I never understood this with people, right? Now I know. When we talk about the narcissistic smirk, that little giggle that they do. When you tell them something bad that happens to somebody, it's like they enjoy it. I'm telling you, these people just point blank evil. That's why I call them the devil's helpers. They just enjoy somebody's misery. They enjoy somebody's downfall. It's really insane. It's absolutely insane. And they feed off of it. So now, like I said, the more you educate yourself, that's why I said in my last video, I don't know if you watched it, but if you can, go back and watch it and share it if you like. If you find it to be useful and helpful. That these people out here, you know, they all over. That's why I say parents need to educate their children. You know, because if you educate your children, they don't have to deal with these type of people as much. I mean, we're going to come across, it is what it is. You're going to meet them in the workplace, unless you're just going to lock yourself up in your house and never come out, all right? But, you know, we have to go out and live our lives, right? So they're all over the place. But I just want to say it's so important to educate your children and talk to them and teach them. So if you teach them this kind of stuff, they will know how to handle it in the workplace. They'll know how to handle it in the dating scene. They'll know how to handle it when they're in school, college, professors. Because I be remembering college having professors. This one professor was just picking at me, and I couldn't understand. She was just literally just riding on me all the time. Now that I look back at it, you know, because we see these narcs, they'll just target you. And it could be for any reason. You are their target. This is the one that they pick, and they just gonna mess with you. And she made my life a living hell in that classroom. You know, but now I look back at it. The chick was a narc. She was a narcissist. That's what it was. You know? And I just, because I remember one time she just looked at me, the teacher, she said to me, oh, your hair looks so nice. And I'm like, okay, that was a weird compliment. You know, it's like, you compliment me, but at the same time, you're disgusted. That's a narc. They like to do that. So now I put two and two together, so now I basically understand it more. So I'm saying they just all over. That's what I say, teach your kids, talk to them, to help with the hell, because if I knew all of this, you know. But of course, you know, my mother ain't gonna teach me, because my mother's a narc herself. You know, I already told you that one, right? So she's a narcissist, she's not gonna teach me. You know, so what I'm just saying is, for us people that are aware of this and who has suffered from narcissist abuse, I think it's our job to teach our kids, and we should educate them, or our nieces, our nephews, or our grandchildren, you know, whatever kids is around. You know, the kids that you have around, if you're an adopted parent, teach them, talk to them. Because it's just like it's just wicked. There's nowhere you can go. You can just go to your local, like, supermarket. And then there'd be that cashier just just want to make things, just so miserable. And these people is they just a piece of work, man. They're a piece of work. That's why I say the more you educate yourself, the more you watch these videos, the more you read stuff, it's better. It gives you clarity. And nothing like clarity, because you're like, oh, wow, okay. Because I know I look back in the past with a whole lot of things I never understood with people. Like, why would you do that? You don't have no remorse? No empathy? You don't cry? Why it look like you're struggling to cry? Now I know why. We talk about the Narc tears. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. You ever see somebody struggle so much to put out one tear? It's just amazing. But, the histrionics, oh my Lord. They could just cry. They just so dramatic. Oh my gosh, it's so dramatic. My grandmother, she was definitely histrionic. Okay? I think she was like a borderline personality disorder mixed with definitely histrionic. Not terms, because she was just all over the darn place. That woman was just a piece of work. Just gives everybody's life a living hell. I used to call her Queen Narc. Yeah. Well, I didn't know back then, with my grandmother, she was. I didn't know. Now as I look back at it, that's my nickname for her, Queen Narc. And everybody was always so scared around her, walking on eggshells. And don't you know that when you with narcissistic people? Don't you feel like you be walking on eggshells? That's a sign. I'll talk about that one day. The eggshells. Walking on eggshells with them. Alright, I think enough of this ranting, enough talking here. But I'll be doing some more of these, because I just want to bring this out. I want to know if anybody else agree. And tell me, have you looked back into your past, your childhood, growing up to your teens and everything, and, and you look at different things, different situations that you was interacting with people and how people acted, and you look back like, whoa, wow. That's what I'm saying. They just all over. So pathetic. But the power that we have over them is educating ourselves. Remember that. Because if we would have known these things ahead of time, we wouldn't have got caught up in the mess. And this is dealing with, intimate relationships, or, co-workers, your children, your parents and stuff, but we just didn't know. You probably would have never had, married that person if you'd have realized exactly what you was getting yourself into. Now you done had a baby with them, so it's like, oh gosh, all you could do is grave rock, because you gotta be in communication with the person, because you done had kids with the person. Oh, I feel sorry. Oh boy, that's a whole nother topic. Alright, let me quiet y'all. Let me stop talking. Alright, so subscribe, hit the alert button, stay tuned for some more commentary, and thank you everybody for listening. How am I gonna name this? I don't even know. Oh well, it'll come to me when I upload it. Alright, bye. Stay narc free.